sundown towns, the towns to avoid if you're traveling, please download this app. We're living in some times where this shit is getting crazier by the day, and something happened to those twin boys. They had even if they missed their flight, what are they doing thousands of miles away from where they originally are from or where they were going? That doesn't sound right. And for that firefighter,
do you know the name of the app? Can you tell us the name of the app that you talking about?
It's called Green something. But if you Google it,
I'll go find it. I'll be right back. I'll just go find it.
Yeah, it's an app. Please download it, y'all, because
B-Ray, mind you, these boys have never been to this part of this state before. They don't even know nothing about it. They've never even been there.
Okay, so the people in the comments are saying Green Book. It's called Green Book, you guys. It's an app, and it will give you the.
That's what it is. It says Green Book Global App. Green Book Global App. Green Book Global App. I'm repeating only for those that may have
a lot of these Green Book travel guide. It was back during the times of Jim Crow. It was a book that you used to pick up to tell you where the sundown towns are, and they just modernized it into an app.
If I was you, I suggest everybody Googling their city and their state and finding out exactly how many sundown towns y'all have and where are they, because I'm telling y'all will be surprised what's technically a sundown town. Like, I live 10 minutes away from one, and I didn't even know until you Google it. And once again, they look like regular towns, y'all. They don't look like no Resident Evil or no, that one TV show off Jonathan Majors he was in. They don't look like that, where police is just like, people are just looking at you strange and nothing like that. They look like regular towns. But then when stuff like that happens, they act independently because they're not going to deconstruct their sundown town. You know where we live at.
So, I'm from North Carolina, and I will tell you right now, they be doing shady stuff down here, and people don't know nothing. There's a lot of woods, there's a lot of trails.
Why is they still able to do it? Y'all niggas can press down on each other. Why is these motherfuckers still able to do this shit?
Marshall, because everybody
step on that,
Marshall. Because Marshall,
show me where these towns at. And I'm gonna walk through that bitch. And I dare one of them motherfuckers.
Big Marshall.
What type of time?
I don't think V-Ray was finished, y'all.
I don't think so either.
You scary. I'd have met you motherfuckers before in prison. You scary, tough motherfuckers. Y'all pick shots who y'all want to fuck with.
Oh, prison is so scary, guys. There was murders. There was death.
Get anybody. Nigga, I'll be a fucking bitch 7 feet tall. We got to get it in.
How long was you in there, Marshall?
I'm going to get it in with you. Ain't gonna be no, I ain't airing the plumber. Ain't gonna be no grabbing me, nigga. You touch me, I'm gonna knock your ass out too. Because all I'm saying, this nigga took off. I ain't know none of that shit. You motherfuckers talking about
the thing about
that sound like some vampire shit.
Hey, Marshall.
That sound like some vampire shit.
Marshall. I'm scared. Everybody trying to figure out why I'm in the middle of Nevada on 40 acres. Because I need that.
Marshall, what state do you live in? What state do you live in, Marshall?
Ohio.
Okay, so we live in the same state. You gonna take on all 300 sundown towns?
Ohio. I've been lashing out at their ass.
Ohio is some real niggas in Ohio. I got people in Ohio.
You gonna take on all 300 sundown towns by yourself?
Every last single one of them.
No,
okay, Marshall, we gonna be at the jail.
They don't know who they king is.
Marshall, we got it.
Man, these motherfuckers is suspectedly supposed to be mind readers. They supposed to know all this shit through magic. They hear me now outspoken. I'm loud as hell. How many of them budge? Let's be real.
Marshall.
These motherfuckers
and then y'all know something
with the spiritual realm.
This family dysfunctional. I'm telling you.
When something happens to our black children,
y'all just got to be more realistic, man.
To our black children, I'm gonna tell y'all, and I've been through the system with a couple of my kids. I am telling y'all, when something happens, when your child is victimized, when your child is victimized, they take their time prosecuting somebody for victimizing a black child. I have seen it. They take their motherfucking time. They will lie, scheme, and everything. I had a lady lie to me for a long time telling me that she was prosecuting my daughter's case and everything. Come to find out this bitch wasn't doing a motherfucking thing, got that whole fire. Because these white people, they don't care about our black children, especially not our black boys. But I'm gonna die for mine and y'all's too.
Yeah, you talking about you. She talking about the other kind of system. See, there's a prison system. There's the welfare system.
I can't believe you still going on about this.
So Marshall,
Shut the hell up.
Marshall,
I'm traumatized. I ain't never been in jail. I'm telling you, I saw death.
I want to hear more from V-Ray.
Marshall, hold on real quick. Marshall, I don't think you understand that a lot of us is hearing what you're saying, but you got to understand, number one, you ain't taking all them cities down. We ain't got that much bail money. But number two, I will say this. Your approach to wanting the freedom and the liberation of Black people, you're not wrong, but you got to understand everybody is not going down that path of being a martyr.
I know. That's why I say, man, y'all stay in y'all motherfucking place, man. If y'all ain't about that shit for real, man, stop hollering, man.
Marshall Michael Jackson Jr.
Because I'm the nigga that's gonna run you over. I'm the nigga that's gonna run you over straight like that, nigga. If you ain't about that life, nigga, man, sit in y'all motherfucking place, man. Stay in your motherfucking lane for real. Because I'm the nigga that's gonna run you over. Because I see you picking shots. You picking shots who you want to fuck with.
You got a violation.
And I want the bully. I'm like John Wick. You send me to the boogeyman.
Well, Marshall, I'm saying that I love your energy. I'm trying to get it, but you won't stop hollering.
That is not your energy.
What I was gonna tell you, Marshall,
not everybody's energy.
Oh my God, go ahead and get it out, love. You gotta.
No, Alex, you go. Go ahead. We tired of it.
It's not true. Alex. I was just saying it's not your energy. You don't align with that energy, but he does.
Okay, well, anyway, I've made front cover newspapers for marching and liberating Black people, but let's move on to you being in jail. Let's get back to Marshall. Anyway, girl, I don't argue with people like you. You're a joke. When you can do the work I do for Black people, then we can have a conversation. You want to eat my pussy so bad, just say it already. I'm tired. Like, girl, you've been on my sack the whole morning. Find you some business. Back to Marshall. I understand. I'm a bad bitch. I get it. Marshall,
I think because you like women, that's what you.
No, you're obsessed. You've been obsessed the whole morning. I understand, but I don't want you. I'm engaged.
I think you're beautiful.
You gotta move forward, baby.
I have a man.
Let's get back to Marshall. But you up my ass and you got a man. But you're up my ass. But you got a man.
You gave me space to talk. If you would shut up.
But you're up my ass.
You gave me space to talk.
Every time I talk, you on mute. You're obsessed.
Marshall,
this nigga is obsessed. Can I get back to Marshall?
You're marching. He's like
she really in love and shit. Like, girl, move forward. Anyway, Marshall, what I was gonna say is this. Marshall, at the end of the day,
you probably like to argue.
Okay, we got it. Marshall, the fire that's in your body is so honorable, and I love it. However, Marshall, everybody's not willing to lay their life down. So what you got to understand is you have to gather. You have to. She's still going. Let her finish.
You're an idiot. You're saying the same thing that I just said.
Okay, let's let her finish. She got to go real bad.
No, Alex, we want to hear from you. Beauty, we love you.
I don't just kiss and make up.
I wouldn't dare kiss her. I love my girl real bad. I would never give her a chance. She's weird. Anyway, what I was going to say is, Marshall, what you people like you have to understand, just me the same. I told y'all before, I don't mind being unalive for my people, right? The ones that actually give a damn, the ones Harriet would have taken for her. But Marshall, you get so upset because you want everybody to be on the wagon with you, and that's okay. But you got to understand, take those that are willing to go with you to do what we need to do to make sure that we get the answers we need for Black bodies. You trying to get everybody to understand what's right, what's wrong, who coming, who not. You're going to waste more time when you could be putting that into collectively bringing those together that want that liberation, that want Black boys and Black girls to be able to see 30, 40, 50, 60, etc. Stop giving so much energy to those that don't give a fuck. You will live longer, Marshall. That's all I wanted to tell you.
Hold on, Alex.
Marshall, that is exactly what you're doing. You're just doing it in a different form.
Hold on.
One thing about it, I ain't getting nobody together. Let me tell you something. All you guys don't know me, but people that know me, if something happened in a sundown town to my child, I promise you, on everything I love, I'll go from door to door, take them out. I promise you I will. And people that know me know I'll do that. I ain't getting nobody together. I'm an 80s baby.
Yep. Right.
Can I say something to that?
Can I say what I want to say real quick?
Of course I am.
I'm an old soul. I'm a warrior soul.
Hello?
We ain't on the same.
Go ahead, I am. We get it, Marshall. You a warrior.
Hold on. So
please
teach y'all.
Y'all got the police up here.
It's history. Like sarcasm is history. It's documented. I'm an 80s baby. Those are old souls. Between 80 and 85 is old souls, nigga.
No, we heard you the first time, but it's I Am's turn.
Okay, let me say this.
Yeah, we know you are.
God, what the fuck is going on?
Me and Ty got a little back and forth going.
All right.
I'm calling y'all on that bullshit. The fuck? Y'all motherfuckers been breathing too much.
You see what happened when I try to be respectful? I don't be fussing.
So you gotta let somebody else talk, honey. Q wanna talk.
Look, teach y'all. That's all I'm gonna say about the son. I live in Alabama. I be on these back roads a lot. Teach our kids about these towns. Just teach, even if y'all don't know where the towns is, teach them the signs. I don't go on no back road where I see flags and shit. If I see a fucking Confederate flag down the road, I turn my ass around and get the fuck on. Teach them they gonna go back road, gas up their cars and shit. Don't stop, don't do none of that shit. Because that shit is still real in Alabama. I don't know about other states, but I know Alabama. When I see Confederate flag and American flag, I turn my ass right around. I'm going the other way.
You ain't lying. When I was doing trucking, I went down to Alabama
on a car. Avoid. That's another sign. That's a symbol. Those bulls with the back feet kicking up.
That's how all the laws in each state is different. Like that's why they had a nigga. That's why they had a nigga called Johnny Cochran. He knew how to attack all states with one law.
The car Johnny Cochran. My grandma used to have to call Johnny Cochran.
They had a nigga called Johnny Cochran.
Can we let Diamond go though? Can we let Diamond go?
Yeah, he can beat every justice system in all 50 states.
Understandable, but can Diamond
he was the only one that could have did it. Everybody else, they can't do it. No, so or they done sold they soul. However, I was in Gaston, Alabama. You know, I got transferred down there out of prison, and I met a judge named King. That was his last name. He said, "I'm king in this state." I said, "You ain't met me." He put my hearing on recess. Called up to Ohio. Who is this we got in our county jail? A dangerous motherfucker. We don't want him back.
Get the fuck out of here. Please go.
We don't want
Ty. Shut up, Ty.
Just like we got that
Ty, you a goofy.
Ty,
you a goofy.
I've learned to decipher the treachery behind coded words they call the Black Law Book. The Black Law Book, like certain words that they use, the pronunciations and the abbreviations, simple words that they use in this Black Law Book, I deciphered it. Just like I keep telling everybody,
Marshall.
License. Everybody got a license to something.
Marshall, Diamond's trying to tell something.
Hold on, Marshall.
Fuck.
Shut the boy.
Okay. Okay, so someone sent 35 to drop Beauty. Okay.
Right.
It's up. Hold on, y'all.
I'll be in the comments.
Beauty, they can't drop you, but they gotta pay 100.
Oh,
100
drop. Period. Man,
oh my God, Beauty, you worse than Marshall. Let her finish.
If he talk,
hold on, y'all. 100 to drop Beauty because they already paid to. Beauty was dropped this morning earlier, and they already paid to bring her back. So y'all, it's 100 to drop her. So I could listen. I could refund the 35 back to the person. You know what I mean? Or y'all gonna do what y'all do, or I could refund it. It's it's up to y'all. It's up to y'all. Okay.
Can we get back to dissecting this?
Yes, B-Ray. I would love to hear more about it.
That's just like Forsyth County up in Georgia. You know, they call that a sundown town. See, just like where I live at, over at Stone Mountain. We sit there when they come up there to the mountains with that little march and stuff. We go up there. We go up there and let them know that ain't happening up here. But just like Forsyth, where all of them live at, that's a sundown town for sure. Forsyth County. Okay. So people just sit there and leave it alone.
So Swift, can we put this conversation to rest? I know we have a whole bunch of John Wicks up here and Omni Man, whoever y'all want to be. If y'all go into these sundown towns and y'all just knocking on doors and punching people in the face, I love that for y'all. But why are y'all not doing it? And if y'all aren't doing it, why are we still talking about it instead of having a progressive conversation? Because me personally, I don't believe that y'all are about to go knock on a couple hundred doors and y'all just out here checking these people. Like, I just don't believe that. I don't want to believe it. But why can't we get to a real conversation with real progression?
Because you don't know me. You got that thing. You don't know me.
I have a question.
They said, I think Swift said if something was to happen to one of his children.
No. They said that they're going to go knock on every
going out
single
random
door.
doing this shit.
Randomly.
I never heard of these sundown
Marshall was the
cities.
one that said that he's gonna just go and
That's what I'm
This is
talking
due
about.
in 2025 in these sundown cities, and they still up. We don't have them in Akron. We don't have them in Ohio.
Yes, we do. Marshall, I'll give you one, and we can go there together. And I want to see you knock on one door.
Go there.
I want to see you knock on one door.
Listen, let me hold on. He's from Ohio, nigga. I've been to Lucasville, OSP, and Nashville, nigga. Those are the hardest prisons in Ohio, nigga. Who you think you talking to, nigga?
Oh, Jesus.
They kicked me out of
Take me to the
Lucasville.
Please,
Kicked me out of
Marshall.
Lucasville and put me in OSP, nigga. And kicked me out of OSP and sent me home, and I've been home ever since.
That microphone hate to see you
What,
coming.
nigga?
Marshall.
What?
Marshall. Please.
Can we get back to trying
Calling
to
in
figure
the pillow again.
Yes,
We
be
can't
ready.
even
I
hear
would
him.
love to hear more information.
Okay, I have a question.
So we're up to 45. Just want to let y'all know that.
Hey, Todd and Alex and everybody, y'all was saying that they would go to prison or Marshall would go to prison. He'd be in the woods. Why are y'all not thinking about that? These people be disappearing. They don't be
That's
going to
true
jail.
too.
They don't go to
Right,
jail.
but Sauce. What I was
Just
saying
get no
was
jail
the way.
cell.
Go ahead, Diamond.
Hold on, y'all. 1 second. Marshall, honey, they paid
Missing.
to drop. Hold on.
Dropping Marshall.
We dropped Marshall. Yeah, y'all. They paid to drop Marshall with no final words. They paid.
Is that a beauty?
As much as I see it, I would have preferred to see Beauty go first.
Marshall actually talking that real shit. What today? What the?
No, hold on, Alex.
We ain't never gonna be
far.
free. Well, he do it. He really, but I will say this: he willing to put his life on the line for his people. She up here spitting bullshit. I'm just confused.
It's just so much screaming on it.
Please, yeah, y'all really gonna go back
Okay,
in.
I have a question, right? So they said that these twin brothers were driving, right? They were driving, right, themselves, right?
So they were driving to the airport from. So do they live in a sundown? Where do they live?
They probably drove through one diamond.
Question. So this is my question. All right,
How did
they
we
said
get
they
to the
flew in the
airport?
car.
That's my
How
point.
far were these twin boys where their bodies were found? How were they by the car, away from the car?
Hartsville Airport, all the way to Bell, whatever. That's far. That's a far.
Okay, where was
that's
the
in the
car?
opposite direction.
Okay, I'm going somewhere. Where was the car located? Where was the car located? Where the bodies were, or were these in two separate locations?
They're still trying to piece a lot. It's two separate. They're trying to piece it all together still. That's why they keep saying they waited for more clarifying information to be released. It's not making sense.
It sounds like their bodies, whoever did whatever, they took their bodies and dropped them off somewhere else. That's what it sounds like.
That Erder suicide that Erder suicide doesn't even sound real. They don't.
Yeah, I didn't.
I mean, of course it
does.
does.
Story. I didn't believe them boys unalived themselves. I didn't believe that.
But they're not going to out a sundown town. They act very independently. That's why no military or government stepped in.
They didn't take their own life.
I personally think they need to check the GSR on the hands of the twins.
Wait. They said down in the comments. They said down in the comments that there was no car mentioned. So how do we know how do we know they were driving? Who said that they were driving?
I'm asking, were they in an Uber? Like, what was going on?
Oh, so they just throwing little stuff out here, speculations. They don't know.
We know
It don't matter if they check the GSR, because they can still set it up as if they did it. GSR ain't gonna do no good. See if they got gun residue. It ain't gonna do no good.
Yeah, Diamond, you was asking where they was from. Now, I've been following this story. They say they was from Lawrenceville, which is like 40-something miles north of Atlanta. But the place where they found their bodies was up in Bell Mountain, which is actually north. So if they was going to Atlanta Airport, they were traveling south. So how did they get further north?
Right, so hear me out.
They were going to Atlanta Airport and waiting up there.
They are
No
from
way.
Lawrenceville. They are from Lawrenceville. were they going to the airport to park their car there at the airport? How did they get from Lawrenceville? That's what I need to know.
Right, you got to get on 85 from Lawrenceville to go to the airport.
Some people saying that they drove. Some people saying that they're
driving.
Swift got a mute. We can't hear you.
Or Lyft.
See, that's the part they never said, Diamond. They just said the two boys was driving. They used the word driving to the airport. So I don't know if they was in a Lyft or not, but, you know, I know that the Bell Mountain is north of Lawrenceville. So if you're going south to Atlanta Airport, how did you get back north? Maybe the car broke down or they was in Uber like you said. And plus,
hold on 1 second.
Right, that's a totally different way.
Wait a minute.
Diamond, I sent you an article from a news source. It's in your messages with the whole case on it.
I think y'all, I'm telling y'all, if they were driving through Lawrenceville to the airport, they were on the highway the whole entire time. So it's still not adding up. They must be trying to say, if they were in an Uber and a Lyft, you know, they're trying to cover that up, because how did they get to the airport? When they found them boys never made it to the airport. So they didn't go through us. Lawrenceville is not a sundown town. It's not a sundown.
No, it's not. And they got to get on the interstate to go to the airport from Lawrenceville. You got to get on 85.
I think Pops might be onto something.
But I'm asking, like, so that's what I'm saying. How did they?
Who's reporting me? What the? I'm not even talking.
Let's drop and come back, Alice. Just drop and come back. So what I'm asking is, y'all, like, where did? Okay, so Dark Guy, you got the article. What did the article say? What? I'm confused, y'all. They're really trying to confuse us with this story. It's not adding up. It's not adding.
Exactly what they're trying to do, confuse us. You're right.
Yeah, they're not gonna let it add up. But I think Pops was onto something.
The problem I'm going to run into of reading the article, I have to go back and read the article, so I'll be back in a second, try to memorize it.
Okay, so they said Georgia is a red state. Georgia is a red state. Listen, Georgia is a red state. However,
with a lot of black people.
Right. So that's what I'm saying to you guys. If they were driving, right, from Lawrenceville to the airport, they did not go through no sundown city from Lawrenceville to the airport.
No, they went on the interstate. From Lawrenceville, you got to get on 85 to go to the airport, 85 south.
But Diamond is saying there's no sundown towns in between Lawrenceville and Atlanta. So how did they get north of Lawrenceville?
Yeah, that was right. United States. Ain't no sundown town.
That's why I said Pop's story make the most sense. Pop's story make the most sense.
Here in the United States of America, every corner, every hill, every valley.
No, she's not.
Somebody added a variable to this story. Somebody added a variable to this story, and they said he was going to go see. One of the twins was going to go see a girl. And y'all bringing up sundown towns, and they mentioned that he was going to go see a YT girl. That I really don't want to dig into. But I will say, if they wasn't an Uber, the Uber driver needs to be investigated too.
That's what I was saying.
Everybody.
Not only that, hold on. I'm telling y'all, the police department are covering up like a motherfucker, because where are their cell phones?
Who, Georgia?
No, the boys.
Oh.
Where their cell phones at?
They're not telling you everything. That's the thing. They're not telling you everything.
And Diamond, that's the thing. Because when they unalive Mike Brown, they could tell you if he had a dookie stain in his drawer. They could tell you what his blood type was, what he ate yesterday. But all of a sudden, they just need more clarifying details. Them folks know what happened to them kids. And that's just the bottom line. We done watch this happen year after year after year. Y'all unalive them black men. That's what happened.
Yeah, maybe
y'all got bored.
They dating somebody.
They went hunting. They go hunting after her. They went hunting. And them two just happened to be on the menu that day. That's
and
maybe
one of the twins is dating somebody's daughter in Lawrenceville that they didn't like them, and they set it up that way. Because if you're going from Lawrenceville to Atlanta to the airport, how do you get backwards a whole hour and a half? The Bell Mountain is an hour and a half.
That sounds right to me.
That's going the opposite way of the airport. Right, Bob.
That means that something happened to them in Lawrenceville, and they took the bodies.
The bodies to build.
Yes, that's what. Yeah,
that's what I'm
then
saying.
Pop
Story
know where to find the body to
like
even
you
take
said,
pictures.
some happened to them in Lawrenceville and they took their bodies up there.
Well, it didn't say anything about any.
Hear
It
me
didn't
out,
say anything
though.
about any meet up with any girls or anything. But it could have been a classic body dump where the events of the crime happened locally. They then took them to the mountains to try to throw people off. They did say that more forensic stuff has to be done. They're probably trying to see if the GR pattern matched correctly from the Hugh wound, because
it's something fishy because how did the firefighter even know where the body was to take the pictures? And look at his mugshot. Look how he looks. So that's what happened. He knew exactly where to go to take these pictures because he's part of it.
Again, they could pull.
Yeah,
They could
Potts is
pull
on.
phone records.
Potts is
That's a
onto it.
good point. They could pull phone records any other time, but this time they can't pull any phone records.
And what
Right,
county were
it's
they
right
in?
sauce.
Potts, what county were they in?
Town County.
Town County. That's where Bell Mountain is at. That's
This
where they
shit's
found the
so
bodies in
goddamn
Town
eerie.
County.
What I
But
get
they
reported
left from
for?
Lawrenceville.
Zodiac, drop and come back, Zodiac. Drop and come back.
This for me
And
be like I mentioned earlier on. This for me be feeling like this situation again with Kendrick Johnson, where black folks all over the country was outraged about him supposedly wrapping himself up in a mat and his organs being missing out his body. T folks at that school talking about we didn't know how he got in the predicament. I feel like since this election, and I know some of y'all in politics, they have done their best to get black people to be more and more scared to go outside and do whatever it is. Because number one, we didn't already opted out of going to march. Number two, we didn't say we not going to fix what y'all done broke. So now they doing any and everything in certain cities and certain states to get us to be outraged. Look how we all up here trying to figure out how these two men got unalived. Their goal is to get black people outraged, and we are outraged. We should be, because they didn't unalive themselves. They did that shit.
That's how I know many Alice Capricorns, because I'm thinking the
This
same
ain't nothing
thing
new.
Alice was thinking.
to the mods, I'm going to
thinking the
post the
same
location to where this guy, the firefighter, was located out of. Can someone pin it?
One thing I want to say about you're absolutely
Hold on,
right.
y'all. Let me play the video. Let me play this video. Hold on.
That's a good question. Everybody has a question regarding how did they get there? Was it Uber, Lyft, or anything? So we found. I'm gonna start calling this the Bell Mountain Horrors. And for those who don't know, these are the Lewis twins right here. They were 90 miles from home. They were from Lawrenceville, Georgia. And I've seen other posts on here saying that they were headed to Florida, and some were saying they were headed to Texas. No, they were headed to Boston. They had plane tickets to go to Boston. The names are Quadir and Nazir Lewis. They're both 19 years old, and that's right there is very significant, okay? They were 19 years old. They were found deceased Saturday morning by a hiker on the summit of Bell Mountain. That's near the North Carolina border. The family said that the brothers were supposed to be going to Boston. They had booked a flight to Boston for 7 a.m. That was last Friday, but they never made their flight. And then 24 hours later, they were found deceased in the area the family said that they had never visited before. And the GBI at first said that, they did this to themselves, said it was a unaliving of themselves. They both did themselves, right? So that right there, we already knew that was BS, because there are other stories down there of people that looks like us that end up being deceased in that same area. So some of the things that I found out was their plane tickets were found in their wallets on the mountain. So some of the newer things that we're finding out is they didn't take an Uber or Lyft. Their car was found at Bell Mountain. And then there was a little bit of confusion on when they were last actually seen. So the stepmom originally said Saturday at 3 a.m. The investigator said 3 a.m., right? But then the investigator changed it to 11 p.m. because that investigator stated that he converted the time wrong. So there was some miscommunication right there, right? Then it was asked, did they have their luggage with them? No, they didn't have their luggage. And as far as their phones were in the car. Now, it's not been confirmed yet whether they checked into their flight or not. Now, I have seen other people saying that they found the weapon next to them and all that stuff, right? But here's my problem with that. The GBI has not released that information. So where are you getting your information? Another thing I want to address is I've seen a lot of people talking about, about the firearm, right? Well, in Georgia, they were only 19. That's why I said it's so significant. In Georgia, you have to be 21 in order to purchase a firearm. These were good, upstanding young men. These were upstanding young men. Don't put anything on them, just because we look like this. And I'm addressing a lot of the comments made by people that looks like this, that are automatically saying thugs and all this stuff. These were outstanding young men. So I'm pretty sure they're testing for GSR, on their hands and all that stuff, because somebody could have did it to them, or they could have forced them to do it, by holding their All kinds of things are possible. But I do not believe that they did this to themselves. The milk stinks and the water stinks. That's a good question. You know, everybody's been asking that question regarding how did they get there? Was it Uber? Good question. You know?
Okay, y'all go ahead.
So
Okay,
it's a
cereal.
So
It's a cereal.
That must mean that.
So
Just think, you got to leave to get to the airport at 7 from an hour and a half away with a 2-hour check-in. So they was on the road like 3 in the morning, Diamond. They was on the road 2:33 in the morning. Coming out of
This was a
Lawrenceville.
cereal. This was a cereal with a body dump.
Yeah, these young men weren't even of legal age to own or to carry it.
If they were in Lawrenceville and their flight was at 7, majority of the time when their flight is at 7, we leave to go to the airport around 4:30. Traffic from around 4 a.m. going to the airport. Remember, I'm an ex-Uber driver. There's no traffic around 4 a.m. going to the airport from Lawrenceville. So if they would have left around 4 o'clock, 4:30, they still would have been on time for their flight. Something happened. I don't know if they pulled over and got some gas, or they could have got pulled over by Gwinnett County Police, and they're not saying that, right? If they were in their car, they could have got pulled over by Gwinnett County Police, and Gwinnett is not saying that. Gwinnett is covering up. Gwinnett is covering up a lot of shit.
Yeah, Diamond.
Never made it to the airport.
What happened? What happened? Something in the milk ain't clean. Listen here. These were upstanding young. These were upstanding young Black men, 19 years old. They weren't even of age to own a pew-pew. Okay, that's first and foremost. So how did they get in possession of a pew-pew? They were traveling. They had no motives whatsoever to do a murder suicide. So this is not adding up. It's a lot in this.
No, this is adding up to be a cereal.
Hold on, I hope they get to the bottom of this, because so many of our people are unsolved, or they write it off to whatever they write it up to be, and then people forget about it. But I hope his family fight like hell to find out what really happened to these two young men, because this is unacceptable.
But I think
this sounds very much like a serial event. This
I think
sounds
Pops
like
is on the right
something
track when
happened
you're
out
talking about it. I think Pops
there.
is on the right track.
It happened in the city, and then they were taken up to the mountains, dumped, and then staged it to be a self-induced gunshot wound or what have you. And plus, on top of it, the reason why I'm saying this is because they said this is not the first time someone disappeared, showed up in that area.
Okay, can I please speak, being that I was a resident in Georgia for 48 years?
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. I'll shut up. I'm sorry.
On TV, you gotta stop sticking your tongue and shit out though when you coming up.
Are your legs gapped open?
Gapped like a motherfucker, Diamond. You know she freaky.
And you love it. What's your love?
You shit.
So when you ask me, Diamond, on TV, why when you coming back to Georgia? Let me tell you something. One thing that was a trigger for me that made me want to hit the request button, because you all are so proud to say, yes, we have a lot of Blacks. A lot of us are in Georgia, but where are you? You should be shutting down I-20, 285, East-West connector. The Spaghetti Junction should be shut down as it relates to those young. Hold up. Now I've been listening to you. Hold up. And I've been did you respect that? Well, I throw my legs up. Now, I want to say this. One of the reasons that I don't like Georgia is the Black people in Georgia. You do a lot of talking. You do a lot. I get where Marshall be coming from, because you make me sick.
Yeah, bring them back.
If you ain't praying and full of God and talking about that, we just gonna pray about it. You just going on about your business and letting this family mourn alone. You brag about having so many blacks down there. You should all have every highway down there shut down until you get some answers. That is not new. That's just the new one, the new case. That happened the whole 48 years I lived there. It's been going on. But because you black people are so into your own businesses and your own life, and it's their problem, and I hope their family get the justice, their family should be your family. You're so proud to say you live in Georgia. Get your ass out there and help correlate a march and shut the city down. Shut the whole damn state down. And I promise you, you will get some answers. But instead, we sit out on panels and we talk about what happened and did they have the cell phone. You know damn well that it was a conspiracy amongst the YT people because it was a YT man who pretended to be a real firefighter who's not. He's a volunteer who showed the child's pictures. That was the first sign right there. The whole state of Georgia is a sundown. How about that? And I land my plane and open my
Auntie V, can I tell you something earlier? I don't know if you heard how long you've been listening. One of the things that now listen, here's the thing. For a good protest. I done been out of breath doing protests. My whole thing is this. That's exactly what they looking for us to do is go out there so they can start unaliving our black asses. They've been snatching black people off the streets for a couple weeks now. They've been looking to incite fear in us and get us to go out there. I'm getting our power back. But this, in my opinion, is a tactic to get black people to start losing their lives. You know, they know that
they're losing them anyway, Alex. They're losing them anyway.
But I'm saying,
they're losing them anyway. There was nobody marching when those young boys became missing. They're losing them anyway.
Say something too?
And what they want us to do is have that approach to what you just said.
Listen, Auntie V.
Go out and march because they're going to unalive us. They're already doing
Auntie V, let me tell you something. I'm going to keep repeating this to you. Corey, your ashy ass, get in the box and stand on business with me because you ain't been at a protest. At the end of the day, I'm all for what you. I'm talking about Corey. Auntie V, listen to me.
At 18 years old.
You were talking to Corey,
I'm not talking to you on TV. Talking to Corey Ballhead ass. Let me say this. At the end of the day, I'm all for going out there and doing what I got to do. You know I work for the people every day. I don't care about being on the line for my people because God got me. But I'm saying, though, some of these people are going to go out there and put themselves out on the line. All in the name of these white folks trying to get us to act a fool. We go protest, yes. We can
Alex,
go
you want to
protest,
recount every time else. Shut the hell up.
Oh my God.
Been unalived and marching.
You're doing a bit too much on Alex.
He's doing a lot. It's starting to get weirder. Something is wrong.
It's giving bothered.
It's very
sensitive at this point.
Chaos, and we're trying to get
very sneaky. That's why we have an investigation report because they don't just unalive us in public in front of people in front of the news. They don't do that.
Miss V, can I say something? Hold on, Miss V, can I say something? Can I say something?
Wait, hold on. Can I?
Wrong with that girl? She needs some
I feel
help.
your passion, Auntie V, and when I tell you be speaking,
passion, baby. It's about purpose.
No. You be speaking the truth, and I understand where you're coming from. This is a thing where I think what Alex is saying, because I can understand both of you guys' points. What often happens is where we let our emotions rile up. We don't organize. We don't be strategic about what we're doing. We just go out and just willy-nilly, unorganized, not having anything planned. And they're wanting us to go out and be a problem. Because I think
we got to go out and be a problem.
No. Hear me out.
If Trump is
black people are being unalive for gathering together on an organized march and going out there together. That's why
Martin Luther King That's all I'm saying.
Hold on. Let me say this.
We need a new strategy. We need
Miss
a
V,
new
let me say
strategy.
this. Hold on, Diamond speaker.
Hold on one second. Okay, beauty, honey. They got you, babe. They got you. I got to drop you.
Oh my goodness. It just got a lot better up here.
Oh, thank God.
But listen, I understand y'all. I understand y'all passion and stuff like that. I'm just like Alex. I went to a protest. I got pumed by a wooden whatever in my back. 0 out of 10 wouldn't recommend. I got hit with tear gas. -30 wouldn't recommend. By me going through that, and then y'all simultaneously saying, oh, we should just go grab our pumes, go march in the street, go shut down whatever, and y'all saying that we're just having a conversation, we're just talking, while simultaneously y'all are just sitting here just talking. It's like we kind of can't take the conversation serious. There are other ways that are way more effective.
Tell us.
Tell
us about them.
Voting, getting yourself informed.
I'm done. Listen to me.
You ain't even listened to the first one, Ms. Vetta. You still laying in bed. And we about to go shut down RT70.
Baby.
And I'm not saying y'all wouldn't do it, Ms. Vetta, but I don't want to see y'all hurt for a message y'all could have got done better in a different way.
Okay.
I like Marshall, but Marshall is saying all this from inside his house.
Okay, that's why
y'all are saying this laying in bed.
I can't do it.
Y'all are saying all this sitting down.
TV.
And having protest, having done nothing.
I get down up here by myself.
All this talking and we talking to y'all. We having the same conversation with y'all. We just all talking, but we talking to y'all. Like that doesn't make sense.
Hey,
Alex
Diamond,
has
who
done
did they
shit.
drop? I can't even get my drop.
By myself.
Alex has done stuff.
By myself.
I'm just saying,
like, oh my God. The people that haven't done something.
I've been in so many protests.